Hello YouTube! I am Pinstar, and this is Pinstar Plays Chef. So, Chef, what is Chef? Chef is a restaurant tycoon game. It is currently in early access and available for anyone to pick up, I believe for $20. I did receive this key for free. I had actually not heard of this game prior to someone reaching out to me, so thank you very much for the devs. I gave it a try and I love it. I absolutely love it because it's not only a competent tycoon game, but it also gets into the food aspect, like the actual culinary aspect, and has in-game implications for mastering and understanding that part of the game, and also allows for a lot of creativity in your dishes. So it's just a real satisfying mix. It's also going to be hitting 1.0 fairly soon. This is the 0.9.6 version. I think 1.0 will be coming later this month. So then, let's dive right in, shall we? Alright, let's make up my character. Okay, this looks about good. Use that as my character's photo. So about as close to of an approximation to my IRL self as I can get. So let's go for it. And yes, you actually have a player avatar within the game. You are actually one of your quote-unquote employees and actually work in the restaurant, along with other people that you can hire. Now, the very first choice that you make in a game is probably one of the most important ones to any given playthrough. It's also the reason why multiple playthroughs of this game can be very different, because, well, each of these, this is the city. The city itself is the same every game, but within each district, there is a distribution of a number of different types of people. And as you can see, there are a lot of different customer types. All of these different customer types have different budgets, different expectations, different foods they like, different foods they don't like, and various things that either attract them or repel them from your restaurant. And the dev has built it in a way that you cannot build a restaurant that will make everybody happy. You're going to appeal to somebody and be unappealing to at least a few different types of people. You can have a broad appeal and get most of the people under your wing, but you can't please everybody. But that's okay. So what we need to decide is, who are we going to try to please? Who are we going to go after? Now, in the early game, you don't really have access to a lot of the upper class people. I mean, even if you go into a zone that has a lot of them, they won't show up because you're just this little rinky-dink restaurant. And until you start having a reputation that will make them think that you're someone worth checking out, they ain't going to show up. Luckily, your starter group, the cheapskates, are in abundance everywhere. But we want to look longer term. Now, going through all the different groups, and I'll show you the details later on of what exactly each group likes and doesn't like. I like white collar. I myself, IRL, am a white collar worker during my day job anyway. So yeah, let's go for the white collar workers. They have a healthy budget. They have a little bit higher expectations, but they're not the super picky, super fussy types like the gourmets. The gourmets are really hard to please, but gourmets are rich AF. So yeah. All right, so usually the white-collar people hang out here in the business districts here. Not a lot of white-collar people here. I mean, there's more than usual. Also, the other thing that is random every single time is the available restaurants in each district. Each district can have different size, randomly generated size restaurants, and they can sometimes have positive and or negative perks. Like, for example, this big restaurant here has solar cells, which makes the maintenance on all your tools much lower, but because it comes with that, it makes the rent higher. And it's already a huge place. The rent is through the roof. We could not afford that kind of a rent in the early game. This place is a bit cheaper, 15% cheaper than it would be, but 5% all ingredients cost because we lose some of them to the rats overnight. But yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of white-collar people. Let's check the other business districts area, see if we can get 3,700. There we go. Now that's expensive though. I mean, it's haunted, but it's still, even with the malice there, it's we cannot afford that. We cannot afford that in the early game. This is going to be tricky. Now, one thing we could do is go here. I mean, we could handle 840 and we get the historical building bonus. Let's give it a shot, because we will actually have a means to tap into the zone next to us in due time. So even though we're not getting access to those 6,200 white-collar people, we'll be able to. And 3,700 is not too shabby anyway. So let's do it. Let's rent it. Now, normally I will skip past the tutorials for these games. I like to do them offline, familiarize myself with the UI, which I've done. But in this particular game, at least at the moment, they're going to change that, I think, at release. But if you complete the tutorial, you will get a chunk of skill points for free, which you don't get if you don't. And getting those skill points, I mean, they're not. You can still succeed without them, but it makes things a lot smoother. Gives you more flexibility. So we're going to go through the tutorial, but I'm not going to read everything here. I will be your tutorial as per usual. So first things first, they want us to furnish our place. Let's see here. I kind of picked out this area here. We're going to get the bamboo parquet. Keep our kitchen. Let's do like that. And then for our here, we can do something like a that. That's not too bad, right? I'm not a decorator by any measure. Is there any like a bluish? Yeah, you unlock more options as you go along here. All right, I think we're good with as far as aesthetics. The outside aesthetics and the wall colors don't really affect things. What do affect things are your decorations internally. Now then, first things first, they want us to lay out our kitchen. Now, all of these different kitchen tools do serve a function. So the main thing here is different cooking methods here. Or different dishes require different cooking methods. So, stovetop cooking, oven cooking, fryers for fried dishes, grills for grilled dishes. And we'll get into what recipes use which things. But I like to give myself basically a gambit of all of them. And of course, what the most important thing is the work surface, which all dishes require at some point. There we go. All right, so now we need to get ourselves some tables. I like these wooden tables, seat 4. Let's see here. Yeah, this makes more sense out here. We'll put up here in the corner, and we can just sort of dot them along the lines here. Now, what I'm going to try and do here is squeeze this. We're going into 2-point hospital strats. I'm going to try and squeeze a couple of them in between here to leave a little bit of a gap here so that we can do a little table right here in the middle. That's perfect. I'm going to want a couple more bits of seats here just to handle our initial crowds. Put like right here and right here. It is important for you to have a mixture of both the bigger tables and the smaller tables, because when you get people coming to your restaurant, they will come in groups of either 1, 2, 3, or 4. And if you get a group of 1 or 2, you don't want them taking up an entire table. Because once you have a group at a table, nobody else gets seated there until they're done, even if there are individual free seats, because you don't want to eat with strangers. So by having these little tables here, that will allow the smaller groups to have a place to eat without using up all the capacity from your big tables here. That should be good. For now, we can always build more as we need it. Now, the next thing he wants us to build is decor. So each of the different groups here have a different decor rating demand, as it were. We need to make sure, if there's an X here, they won't even bother showing up. They will not come because our restaurant just they have no reason to come to us because they take one look at it and they're like, ew, no. So what we're going to do here is there's a couple of different flavors of decor. You got modern, you got rustic, and then let me see. There's elegant is another one. And different groups respond better to different types. There are none that are like actively bad, but there are some groups that just they ignore that. It's like I don't care. I sleep. So we're going to go modern, because I know for a fact that white collar groups like modern. So if we place that down, we get 2 points of modern ambience, and it tells us who likes what. So the cheapskates and the blue collars and the vegans are fine with modern. They don't love it, but they don't hate it. But then the white collars, the tourists, the vegetarians, and the gourmets love modern. And the families and the food enthusiasts really don't care. So we're not going to be attracting any of the families, but that's not our target. We want the white collars. And then also, the blue collars and the cheapskates, they're not too picky about their decor. So you get enough of this modern stuff in there and they'll show up just fine. See, we got they only need 5 points of modern here, and they're like, yep, we're in. We don't care. But they're cheapskates. They don't have much of a budget. I am going to crack this up so that we can get a little bit more at least. Let's see, we got the vegetarians in. We could use a little bit more. Let's vary things up a little bit. Maybe an object or two. Let's see, modern sideboard with cover. All right, now let's look for wall furnishings. Are there modern? Yes, there are. Post-impressionism painting. Get. And then there we go. And that gets the tourists on board too. Let's just go for a couple more of these, just because it's one thing to qualify for the bare minimum. It's another to actually have more than you need, because then people will rate you higher. There we go, a couple of pictures. And we still have plenty in the bank to splash around with. Right then. So that takes care of that. All right, now they want us to open up our menu here. So as far as the menu goes, this is another place where it is really, really interesting, and this is how it kind of interacts with the different people. So your menu, first off, you got appetizers, main courses, salads, soups, side dishes, desserts, and beverages, and all of these can have multitudes of different offerings. And based on what you're offering, in what categories, and at what price, that will have impacts on the attractiveness of your menu. There are all these different perks, these bonuses that you get if you customize your menu to have certain themes. So let's, right now our menu is empty and it's giving us tons of penalties. But that we will soon change that. Now the recipes here, they are initially rated on a scale of 1 to 100, but later in the game you can exceed 100 and you want to exceed 100. We don't have any custom recipes yet, but the game does give us a smattering of just sort of pre-seeded, pre-made recipes, which we can use at least temporarily. Getting into custom recipes is another huge part of this game. So we're going to do quiche Lorraine. One other thing to note about the things is it tells you what utilities that you need to cook this thing with. It's also, these dishes have tags based on the ingredients. So for example, roasted onions and cheese sauce is a vegetarian dish. It's not a vegan dish because there's cheese. But there's enough cheese in there for it to count as a dairy dish and a vegetable dish. But despite all the presence of cheese, it's less than 400 calories, so it counts as a quote-unquote healthy dish. And all of those have impacts on your customers and their enjoyment of the meal, as well as earning yourself different perks with the menu. So let's go for that one. The other thing is the base price here is the cost of ingredients, so we want to raise this. Typical in industry is that you do 3 times ingredient cost. So let's say, you know, $7.50. I'm doing a lot of rounding here. Let's call you $4.50. And then yeah, let's keep adding stuff here. We want a good diversity of things for people. Let's do fettuccine Alfredo, sure. Mark you at $6. Grilled steak, and call you. Grilled steak's going to be kind of expensive if we do the full markup. I know there's going to be people complaining. So maybe not the grilled steak, despite the fact that it's one of the better ones. Let's find some other meat dish. Chicken breast with salad. There we go. That's much better. We'll call you $4 because you're much cheaper. Much better markup. That should be good for the main course. I'm just doing 2 of each to start with. We'll be further customizing this much more. Cod salad. I know for a fact that white-collar people like fish. So we're going to be hitting the fish pretty hard here. We could also do a turkey salad. Make you both $4. Garlic. All right. Mussel soup. More seafood. Call you $5. And garlic potato soup. Heck, you can be $3. You can be nice and cheap. Only 2 offerings for side dishes: roast and jacked potatoes. Fair enough. Yeah. We're getting there. So we've got. We call you $3 and call you $4 for that one. Desserts. Let's get some chocolate chip cookies and an apple cream pie. $3, $4. And lastly, some drinks. We'll get cheap blonde beer. The mysterious blonde beer. That's lower quality, though. And then we'll do like a discount soda. Call you $4 for that, $3 for that. Perfect. Now you can see on here, having built our menu, we've accumulated a couple of different bonuses here. We've got the vegetarian friendly. We have enough vegetarian dishes that vegetarians say, all right, this place has a good offer for us. So 10% extra attractiveness to vegetarians. Excellent. We've got a well-structured menu. By having 2 dishes in every category, at least, we get a little attractiveness to food enthusiasts and gourmets. Unfortunately, neither of them will show up because of our decor, but we can do that later. And lastly, we have enough healthy dishes that we get some extra attractiveness to white-collar and high-class tourists with a little negative to cheapskates, which, again, we can fix that later. Right now, as you can see, our natural bonuses are all to cheapskates because we are a basically new game in town. The only people that are intrinsically interested in us are the cheapskates. So that's who most of your customers are going to be at the beginning of the game. Right then, open the staff panel. So they want us to hire a couple of the waiters. Our character actually acts as a chef that you don't have to pay. But we do want to get a couple of waiters here. I'm actually going to hire 3 of them. I like the 3-waiter setup here. All right. And open the decisions panel. And open the restaurant. We are open for business. So we are going to have all of our employees come streaming in, and hopefully a bunch of customers. Yes, the game usually gives you a burst of customers right at the beginning, and that's kind of why I wanted the 3 waiters, so that we can welcome all of them. Because the first day, the wait staff, people can't just go into your restaurant. They have to be greeted by a waiter. And if they wait outside too long, then they'll get frustrated and just give up. Which is why I wanted to make sure we had enough waiters to actually bring everybody into the restaurant. Now everyone starts looking at the menus, deciding what they want. Ooh, Are we out of... If we get another bigger group, I'm going to need to slap down another 4-person table. All of our 4-person tables are occupied, which is a good thing. Which is a good thing, because that means more people, more food, more orders, more profits. So everyone's deciding on their menus, but pretty soon, yeah, our waiters, they're going to finish deciding and they're going to take their orders. And again, they're judging you right now. The time it takes between when they are ready for something and when a staff member does that factors into part of their rating for you, the score. So now we've got 3 dishes cooking here. So now my avatar is going crazy here, making all of our stuff. We got 3 orders of tortilla de pat here. We got what's cooking in the oven here. We got a whole bunch of chicken breast with salad. That thing is maxed out. Chicken breast with salad. Dang, I didn't realize. Whew, I hope we don't have. We don't delay anyone's order because there might be more chicken breast with salads needed. No, it looks like there's alright, maybe a few here, but he's making room. You know, they are willing to wait for a decent degree here. Yeah, so let's see how our first round of orders go here. So now the orders are ready. They get put up here. Waiters come over here, bring them to the tables. I mean, I like the sort of the structure of the minutia, because I mean, it looks really realistic for how a restaurant flows. But the game gets into like all of these, the nitty-gritty aspects, the act of greeting people at the door, the act of running dishes over, that gets gamified. Like there are perks that let, people specialize in certain actions. Somebody wasn't happy. Why weren't you happy? Well, actually, they'll tell us why they weren't happy. So after they finish the bill, actually, some of these might be a little expensive for them. That might be why they're complaining. Chef advisor. Yeah, they'll leave us ratings here. This is basically the Yelp in the in-game here. So, yeah, I'm not... Well, somebody liked it. Yeah, they just randomly generate the reviews, and a lot of these are pretty funny here. So yeah, this person really liked it. They didn't like the food so much, but they liked everything else so much that it was good enough. And I agree, our recipes are kind of meh. They're the pre-made recipes. If you want to succeed and you want to get good food, you got to get into the custom stuff, which we will be doing in our next episode. Open the stats panel. So now this is what I was talking about. This screen right here. So all of the different categories of people have their own budgets, what prices they're willing to tolerate, what kind of foods they like, what kind of foods they don't like. Now, just because if they like a food, that doesn't necessarily mean that's the only thing they'll ever order. They just sort of tend to this and give a little bit higher marks to, say, seafood dishes or good wine, and will give slightly lower marks if they get a carbs or beer dish, and are slightly less likely to order them. But if the dish is still good, like just at its heart really good, even a dislike dish will get high food marks from someone. So it's more of a guideline than a strict thing. The only one that I think are super strict about it is vegetarians and vegans will not order their dislikes because, well, that would defeat the purpose of them being vegetarians and vegans. So yeah, this is sort of the matrix that we have to navigate here. So again, our target demographic, the white collars, they like seafood, they like wine, and they dislike carbs and beer. And they have a $3 sign budget, which is not nearly the highest. The highest ones, the vegans, the high budget people, the high budget families have 4 ones, and then the gourmets don't care about cost. They will pay for anything as long as it's good. But we're not going after them because they are super picky. So yeah. We gotta pick a name for this place too. We haven't named our restaurant. So I think in our next episode we'll get into some of the ingredient picks and customizing our restaurant and customizing our name. So, I hope you guys liked this initial episode. We have only scratched the surface of this game. We haven't gotten into the juiciest bits yet. So stay tuned. If you like this episode and want to see more like it, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave me a comment, good, bad, or indifferent. Your feedback's always welcome. So until next time, this has been Pinstar signing out. See ya!